Vlad, why Vlad out here? Vlad TV, whom I don't trust for 5 seconds. Why he didn't went on Twitter? This ninja then went on Twitter, and let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know if I can pull it up at the same time I'm on this live. Oh, I don't know if I can do both. Okay, so he says, I have a confession. He says Jay-Z has been paying him to support Megan the Stallion. He says Jay-Z Rock Nation has been paying him, and they paid him in untraceable Bitcoin. He also claims that Jay-Z paid off the judge, paid off like all the jury members, or something to that effect. And I'm not sure if he said that about Diddy or if he's just talking about the Megan case. Let me look real quick. Let me see. I think he's only talking about Megan the Stallion's case. He says that Jay-Z or Rock Nation or both paid off Megan the Stallion's doctor or doctors to basically say she was shot. So, I don't know. He says that Jay-Z has all of the police on his payroll. Now, lots of people are like, "Oh, he lying," or whatever, because he. It's odd. So, but the Vlad guy to me is a snake, anyways. But I believe him. I think he's a whole ass snake that was getting paid to basically downplay everything that people like Jaguar Wright was saying, which who knows if Jaguar Wright is actually right, but the way he always try to discount her and say she's lying, lying, and you can't believe her or whatever the case may be, as if he knew she was lying, as if he had maybe some sort of proof. But then, let me see, what else did he say? Child, Jay-Z, according to Vlad TV, according to the Vlad guy, he says that a Mexican stabbed TORI. And then he says, who do you think paid the Mexican to stab him? What? Child. I don't know why Vlad thinks that Jay-Z has it out for Tory Lane. Or is that guy, I don't know if his last name is Lanes, but the guy that supposedly shot Megan or got into it with Megan, whatever, apparently he wanted this guy to go to jail, prison, or whatever, because the way he's claiming on Twitter that Jay paid 3 Supreme Court justices to do something, also paid Trump to not pardon him. That's high level. But I always be telling you about Sloan Bella. Sloan Bella already said, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching halt. Because she says that people want him found out. Whatever the hell he did or is doing, apparently it's going to come to the light. I only believe her because she predicted everything Diddy did, and then the shit happened. So, and she predicted it way before it actually went down, almost to a T. So then, after this guy Vlad gets on Twitter and basically says Jay-Z is a liar, he pays people off, everybody on his payroll, he was on his payroll, all kind of things like that. Then he goes back on a live and says, "Oh, I was just being sarcastic." What? So you gonna go online and confess and profess that this man has done all this egregious criminal behavior, and then say, "Oh no, I was just being sarcastic." He also said something like, before he recanted, he said something like, "Well, if I come up missing, or if something happens, you know who did it." To me, he was indirectly saying, like, listen, Something happened to me, Jay-Z did it. So to me, for him to then go on a live and say, "Oh, I was just joking. That was all sarcasm." That to me says somebody got to you. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Tell me if y'all think Jay Z is a Fed. If y'all believe anything the Vlad guy says about Jay Z being this guy that has like the police on his payroll, can pay off Donald Trump to not pardon Tory Lane, set up Tory Lane, whatever he did, pay somebody to stab him, all this kind of stuff. What do you guys think? Y'all think any of that's true? Y'all think it's any truth to Vlad saying that, Jay Z's paid off judges and the jury and clearly has deep pockets to do a whole bunch of shit. Now, a lot of people will say, "Oh, I don't believe that. They're trying to set him up. They're trying to do this, that, and the third." I do believe this. It could all be false, and it could all be true. And I've always said this: if you pull at the string of Jay Z and his story, 10 bodies gonna fall out. Just if you pull it a little bit, just like Diddy. Pull at Diddy's, is probably 1,000 bodies gonna fall out because they just corrupt. And then these are two men who were seemingly besties. So it's not a foregone truth that if you hang around someone who's guilty of some shit, then that automatically makes you guilty of some shit. That, it's not a foregone conclusion. However, if you continuously hang around someone, you begin to know who they are. You just do. Will you know all their deep, dark secrets? Not necessarily. But y'all believe Jay didn't know what Diddy was doing? Everybody but Jay and Beyonce knew. Everybody else, y'all didn't know. And then when the man goes to prison, or no, he was on trial, Jay-Z's lawyer came out and said, "No, they're not friends." If I was Diddy, and I don't like Diddy, he the devil. But if I was Diddy, I would have listen. If Suge Knight can have a whole ass podcast in jail, why can't Diddy? And I don't want him to have one because I think he's a horrible human being. He's a demon, in my opinion. But I would have got a podcast and been like, "Oh, y'all got me fucked up. Jay, come to the front. You got me fucked up." The long way. You got me fucked up. Mm-hmm. Beyonce, girl, come to the front. What are you gonna do? He in these Epstein files. Y'all think anybody else will get? Who else do? Somebody said they think Jay Z is the only person that's gonna get charged with anything dealing with Epstein. I believe when Sloan Bella said they want him found out. About what, I don't know. But I do think they want him found out. Who are they? Industry people he fucked over. Possibly industry people that don't want to have him at the top anymore. And these could have been the same people that try to put him on a pedestal to get to the top. He the golden boy, that type of thing. And now it didn't work out. Whatever it was they were planning for him didn't work out the way they wanted it to. And so now they're switching up. That's what it feels like to me. They're switching up. They're like, "Yeah, we thought so. You're married to Beyonce. She's the queen bee and all that." And so they thought, this is a good look. Jay, bro, this isn't one of those things you can sit out. Like how they dropped the file that had his name in it or whatever. Whoever came across that file that I think the FBI released or whatever, I think that was very intentional. And that to me, that's when I get into it's not a conspiracy theory, but that's when I get into the people at the top that really control power. That's when I get into the intentionality of things. I think that was intentional. You got all these files. You make sure to release the ones that has Jay-Z in it, but not the president. Don't we think the president is a bigger fish than Jay-Z? In my opinion, I mean, y'all let me know, but I definitely would think so. That's a bigger scandal. I mean, he's a scandal any fucking way, but you get what I'm saying. So, I think it's intentional. I think it's what Sloan Bella said. they want him found out. And Beyonce should have divorced him about 5 years ago. So this stink doesn't get on her, but it's gonna be all over her. Because it's one thing for you to try to, explain to your daughters and children, but your 12 or 13-year-old daughter, why last year they was saying daddy was a rapist? Why Nicki Minaj this year is saying he's a child pedophile or a predator rather? Then the Epstein files get dropped and his name is in there. I ain't saying that he did anything, but you close to a lot of the people that dealt with Epstein. I've seen you in, I think, a photo or two with Epstein. I think. Don't quote me on that. And again, it doesn't mean anything that you're standing next to someone in a photo. It doesn't mean you know this person's a pedophile. It doesn't mean you know any of those things. However, you seem to know a lot of people who've been convicted of rape. You just do. I just don't know no pedos. I don't have anybody in my friend group that I know that's a pedo. Diddy has people in his, not Diddy, JAYZ, well, Diddy does too, has people in his friend group that have all been convicted of said crimes, like Weinstein, like Epstein, like Diddy, like R. Kelly. He got all these people in his friend group. Like, how does that, again, it's one thing to have this one person that you know that went to jail or whatever for this. But like 5, 6 people, and they all your friend calling them your you got Diddy saying you the friend, he's your bestie, your brother. You got Weinstein telling the what do you call them people? The press, this is my friend, leave him alone, protecting you. You doing a whole ass double album with R. Kelly, who was having sex with a 12-year-old. But then again, you like him young too, JAYZ. Let's just keep it a book. How you expect us not to believe this bullshit? I ain't saying the man is guilty of this particular thing or rape or any of that, but he seems to have relationships, seemingly, with young girls when he was in his 20s. Beyonce being one of them that we know of. But they swear, oh no, we didn't start dating till I was 18, or we didn't meet till I was 18. Lies. There are photos of him with Destiny's Child when she clearly was 16, 17 at the oldest. But we didn't meet till we didn't start date. We didn't talk on the phone until I was 18. We didn't start dating until I was 19. Girl, who you trying to fool? Because you're not fooling us. We did not fall off the turnip truck yesterday, okay? We're clear, intelligent people. But anyway, what do you guys think about DJ Khaled saying all these things, and then about JAYZ calling him out on every single thing and then redacting it? You think somebody sent him? I think that man said that of his own volition because they didn't give him his other check. I think that man, he's the type of person that was always going to say whatever the fuck he wanted to say. Once I'm ready to say it. Once some shit don't go my way. Once you don't give me what I want. So I ain't gonna sue you. I'm just gonna damage your reputation. That's already taken 2 or 3 hits so far. At least with the international news focus. So anyway, Beyonce probably gonna drop some pics on her Instagram now that JAYZ is just, I know she gotta be somewhere pissed. I would be. What's she saying that song? I ain't sorry. You always doing some shit while I'm out here trying to get my check. She ain't lying. Anyway, guys, y'all have a good Sunday night. I hope y'all had a good Valentine's.